Good morning, everyone. My name is Kojo Akuto Boateng, and this morning I'm beginning this conversation on the SIM card registration because the deadline is just around the corner. There are people who believe the exercise should be extended. There are others who believe the exercise should not be extended. And this morning, I just want us to have a, a general conversation about the SIM card registration, where we are, what must be done. Um, Is it true that people are going to be disenfranchised? Is it true that um, we've done all we could have done to register as many people as possible to make things work? So this is the conversation I want us to have this morning. When this started, there was a first extension, then another extension, then another extension. And it seems as though industry is saying something different and the government is also saying something different. So I'm co-hosting this with my friend Austin Wood. Austin, most of you know, very sharp, very intelligent young man. I've done radio with him from Kumasi all the way to some collaborations when I moved to Accra. I'll be having a lot of these spaces with him in the coming days. And so I'd like to give us Austin the first word, and then we'll continue the conversation. Once again, good morning to all of you.
Thank you very much, Kojo, and good morning to everyone who's joined us in this space. Like the topic says, it's very simple and straightforward. SIM registration to extend or not. So between now and I think an hour and a half or two, would want to discuss Ghana's uh, re-registration of mobile SIM cards or SIM, and where we've gotten to, what necessitated the decision by the government or state for us to re-register our SIMs, and also where we've gotten to, where we are going, and what would happen when the deadline of 31st July, which is probably by Sunday, is up. What would happen? There are a lot of questions people would want to ask, and what myself and Kojo would try to do, and others who would join in this particular space, is to help answer some of these nagging questions and also bring some clarity on some of the issues that people have raised concerning this SIM registration. So, good morning. I know it's 7, it's early morning, but it's a very, very important topic. And as Kojo said, we would have a lot of these important discussions on your timeline in the coming days and weeks. So, like he said, um, my name is Austin Wood. I'm going to be a co-host with Kojo. Welcome. What we will do is at the start of this particular exercise, we would have um, a section where I would be asking Kojo some simple questions for him to answer. Then, when we are done with our section, we would invite other members of the public who have just tuned in to also share their thoughts if there's any question they would want to ask, if there's any clarity they need on any issue concerning SIM registration, then you can join us with that. So, um, good morning once again. So, Kojo, I don't know if you are ready. If we can start now.
Yes, I'm ever ready.
Okay. So, Kojo, we keep talking about SIM registration in Ghana, but you realize that at a point in my intro, I sometimes interchanged SIM registration with registration. It's something that we've done over a period. What makes what we are doing currently new, and what has necessitated Ghanaians to register their SIM?
Well, the basic thing is that we've sought to digitize and formalize our economy over the past years, from the era of President Kufuor through to the late Mills to Mahama, now to President Akufo-Addo. we've tried to digitize the economy by having one form of ID or the other. So the national identity thing became a thing under Kufuor and came all the way through to Akufo-Addo. What has happened over the years is that different institutions had different identities. So, for example, at a point I had SSNIT, I had you have SSNIT, you have your driver's license, you have your health insurance, and then there was the first national IDs that we did, plus some other things. But now we wanted to have a national database that we could fall on for planning and decision making. So national ID system. At a point, we were made to register our SIMs somehow. In fact, the voters card is also one of the cards that an adult Ghanaian over 18 also had to have to be able to do things. And for a very long time, that had been our default identification card because most people did not have driver's licenses, but you definitely have a voter's ID. When the national ID also came, it also became very useful for identification for bank transactions and all that. But now we want to have a national ID which gives every Ghanaian a unique code. Now, it was also important that we registered SIMs because we could then ensure that we checked fraud and also consolidate the data in the space because telephony and telecommunications was a key thing. So I think these are the things that have driven these two things. If you actually check the vision of the current government, when they came in, they said one of the key things they wanted to do was the formalization of the Ghanaian economy. And formalization was to be led by digitization. That's why we've seen our vice president and the comms ministry doing a lot of things in this particular space. Some of them have been well done, others have been shambolic. We can discuss those later. So this is what has brought us here. The need to digitize our economy and formalize our economy.
Okay, thank you very much, Kojo. I don't know. I've just received a message where someone says there is terrible feedback from my end. I don't know. Kojo, are you getting same when I speak?
No, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that.
I don't know. Is there any other person in the space who gets terrible feedback? There's something like an echo or a reverb when I speak. If there is something like that, can you give us like a high five so we appreciate that it is not the okay, Kojo. So I think others are getting it. So what will happen is when I am speaking, you need to turn off your mic so that I know if we okay. Hello, is it better now? So if I am speak, okay, if it is better now, whilst could you turn off his mic whilst I speak? Can you also give me a high five so I appreciate it? Okay, then I think that Kojo, what would happen is the terrible feedback was as a result of the sound reverbing from your end. So when I am speaking, you can turn off your mic, and when it is time for you to speak, you turn it back on. Thank you so much. So my next question, if you've just joined us in the space, my name is Austin Wood, and I'm your co-host for this particular space, together with Kojo Akoto Boateng. What we are doing is having a discussion on Ghana SIM registration. And the bigger question everybody would want to ask is, do we extend that deadline of 31st July 2022, or after 31st July, if you've still not registered, then you lose your SIM or what? Could you be asking? I'll be asking him these questions and he would be responding. If there are any nagging questions you would want to ask yourself, what would happen is after my section with Kojo, you would give the opportunity for people to request for the mic and also share their thoughts. And if there are questions, they can ask. So, Kojo, my next question is, what has been done with respect to Ghana card registration? Because we know that the National Identification Authority is mandated by law to give us our Ghana card. And their registration has been going on. Last I checked, the authority was saying they had issued close to 16 point something million Ghanaians with unique Ghana cards. So, what has been done with respect to Ghana card registration? Thank you.
Thank you, Austin, for this question. I'll just read a story from the 26th of July 2022. I'm reading this from Ghana Web, with their source being Atinka Online. And according to this story, the Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, has reviewed that 15.7 million cards have been issued out of 16.8 million Ghanaians that were enrolled on the Ghana National Identification Program as of June 2020. So we have 15.7 million cards issued out of 16.8 million Ghanaians. So this gives us the data to use to compare to, say, telco enrollment and whatever risks there are. Should people not register their SIMs by the deadline, which is this weekend? Now, the Ghana card issuance is done by the National Identification Authority, which has been doing its work for the most part of the past 3-4 years. They've been around the country, district by district. They've done mass registrations. For some districts, they've even gone twice. So they've done mass registrations, and now they have their district and regional offices and some special places where people can go and register. They also have a service where you can fill a form, pay some premium cash, and they'll come to your homes or your offices to register. Throughout all this, 15.7 million cards have been issued to Ghanaians out of 16.8 million. So it means that the National Identification Authority is holding ID cards of a little over 1 million Ghanaians who have gone through the process to register. And they've been able to issue ID cards to 15.7 million people out of 16.8. So that is where we are with the Ghana card registration. Importantly, with the SIM re-registration exercise ongoing at the moment, you need a Ghana card. You cannot register with your voter's ID, your driver's license, your birth certificate. You cannot register with any other thing but your Ghana card. So if you don't have the Ghana card, you cannot register your SIMs. Now, with this revelation by the Minister for Finance, which came on the 26th of July, today is 29th, over 1.1 million cards had not been issued to people who had gone through the process of registration. I don't know if between Tuesday and now, the National Identification Authority can get the 1.1 million people their cards to register. So this is a problem we are finding. At least people who have willingly gone to register their cards for their Ghana cards, 1.1 million people have not received them. And these people are supposed to register their SIMs with their Ghana cards. Can we deliver those Ghana cards between now and the weekend to the 1.1 million Ghanaians who have willingly gone through the process? That's one question I'm going to leave here for us to explore as we go along, Austin.
Thank you very much, Kojo. But let me ask this. From the data that the finance minister gave on Monday and what you've just shared with us, it means that let's say a little over 1 million people have registered for their Ghana cards, but have not had the card issued to them. Why is this happening? What is the issue? Why hasn't it been issued to them? Because I thought that it was on the spot issuance. I don't know. Why hasn't it been issued to them?
There were a lot of instances where people could not get their cards instantly. Network issues, whatever. Different issues happened, right? So I remember at a point when they were registering, I was in the village and some people had come to register, but they were having challenges. So they were told that they would go and get the cards ready and brought to them. Sometimes too, the machines have issues. When I was registering, I did the special registration. So I had to put all my family. So I went to their website, downloaded the form, filled the form, submitted to them, paid into the National Identification Authority's account at the Cal Bank, and then they gave us a date and they came to register us at home. we were just about 7, but it took almost the whole day for them to be able to register us because they were having network issues. Once the registration is done, the data is sent into the master database for some approvals or something, and then the machine can print. So the gentleman I remember came around 10 a.m. and he left around 7 p.m. Even that, one person didn't get their card. So they get technical problems, they get network issues and related matters. And they also have logistical issues. I believe that once they're unable to complete some of the exercises on site, in situ, and it has to go back to office for redistribution, because they don't have the logistical system put in place properly, they cannot deliver to people. They cannot deliver to people as and when they have to deliver. I thought that because they were capturing data on addresses and all that, they could even have these cards delivered to people via post or via delivery services. Maybe it's a conversation we can have later. But these are the challenges I have personally identified. There are network issues, machine and technical problems have affected the rate of execution. But if you look at the fact that 16.8 people have registered and 15.7 cards have been delivered, it gives a sense that they've been able to do the bulk of the card issuances. And this 1.1 million is in the minority. But if you look at 1.1 million subscribers as a market for a telco, any telco that loses even 100,000 subscribers is losing a lot of money. So that's also presents the challenge. Now, any economy that disconnects even 50,000 people from communicating is also creating a problem, because communication is the new way of movement. Economic growth is driven by movement of goods, movement of people, movement of services. Communication has now made that possible without the physical activity of movement. So even if you are going to take off 50,000 people, 100,000 people, you are creating a problem within the economy and sub-economies, Austin.
Thank you very much. If you've just joined us in this space, my name is Austin Wood, and I'm your co-host together with Kojo Akoto, and we are discussing Ghana SIM registration. And if you care to know, or if you've not averted your mind to it, the state or government says that by 31st July 2022, which would be, I think, probably after Sunday, if you have not registered your mobile SIM with your network provider, you will lose your net number. And the only means you can register your mobile SIM is by visiting your network provider with a Ghana card. It is only the Ghana card that is the acceptable way or platform to register your SIM. You cannot use any other identification. So, what I'm asking Kweju in this initial stage of this space is something to do with the Ghana card and its issuance. And he's told us that the finance minister on Monday told Parliament that the National Identification Authority has registered 16.8 million Ghanaians for their Ghana cards and have issued cards to 15.7. So there's a backlog of 1.1 million Ghanaians who have duly registered for their Ghana cards but have not had it. So we're asking what would happen to such people, because from Monday when the finance minister spoke and till Sunday, that is in 7 days, it might not be practically possible to distribute all those 1.1 million cards to these Ghanaians who are scattered all over the country. So we move on, Kojo. Let me ask you this. Why are we enjoined to use only the Ghana card for this SIM registration? Because I thought that um, in the Supreme Court ruling, it was just about the birth certificate, which was not a proper way of identifying someone. But we have our passports, we have our voters' ID card, we have our driving license, which are all issued by state agencies, and they are credible. So why is it that government or the state has decided that for SIM registration only only the Ghana card can be used?
Maybe we leave this to the lawyers. I am not a lawyer, but I'll try. I am a building technologist. I am a media person, let's say ex-media person, because I'm not actively doing media now, and I'm a sustainability scientist, but I now prefer to be called a farmer. I think that it's been the decision of the Ministry of Communication and the NCA that we should use only the Ghana card, because it's the central database for the country now. That's the only answer I can give. But knowing what I know in technology, we've run some tech businesses for some time, so you know what you can do with data. When people are registering for the Ghana card, their other ID cards are captured. For example, your voter's ID is captured, your SNIT number is captured. And I left out the SNIT card when I was speaking about the various ID cards one had to have to function in the country. Your birth certificate is captured and all that. So I think that since your Ghana card number is being linked to all these cards, for people who do not even have Ghana cards, they could register with their voters' IDs or driver's licenses or their SNIT cards. My reasoning is that in the end, all this data will be synchronized. And once it's synchronized, whatever ID you use will be linked to your Ghana card. So that data can be linked to your Ghana card, and that shouldn't be a problem. But for some reason, the NCA, the ministry, have stayed on the Ghana card and have stuck to that. It's gone to court, it's gone back and forth. But like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but practically, I thought we could use at least your SNIT number, if you're a SNIT registered person, your driver's license, and your voter's ID, because these usually have, and then later synchronized or merged with your Ghana card number if you got a Ghana card later. But they said no.
Okay, thank you very much, Kojo. Now to the most important question: why a lot of people have joined this space. After 31st July 2022, if we are going by the timeline issued by the state, what happens if I have not been able to register my SIM? What will happen? Could you please explain this in the layman perspective so that we would understand? Say 31st July and astronomy register my SIM now. What happens to my SIM? Is it that I would wake up and my phone will go off? So what will happen? Please tell us.
Well, the communication we've seen over the years, or let me say the months leading to this, is that whatever you use your SIM card for will be disabled. So you cannot use your SIM card to make calls. You cannot text. You cannot do Momo. You cannot have access to data. At least that is what has been communicated to all of us. So basically, your SIM card will not have the functionalities that it has now. So you cannot use your SIM card for anything. That's what we've been told. So you cannot call your wife. You cannot call your friend. You cannot send Momo. You cannot do anything with a SIM card. It will practically be disabled. So that's what, just a SIM card, no. That's where we are. And that's what I know.
Wow. 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 No, let me get this. You'd have to give us the data also from the telcos so that we'll be able to peruse it and know how important this is, because 31st July 2022 might be a very important day in Ghana's history. Let me ask this. You see, you have already told us that 15.7 million Ghanaians have been issued with Ghana card. But genuinely, it is not everybody who went for the Ghana card just because they needed to register their SIM. Some have gone for it because they needed it for other purposes and all that. Give us the numbers of the telcos. MTN is the biggest or the market leader. There is Vodafone, there is Airtel Tigo, there is Glow, and there are others. Give us MTN subscriber base. And as of today, which is the 28th or 29th of um, July, what MTN is telling us, how many people have they been able to duly register so that we will be able to appreciate where we are heading towards on the 31st of July.
Okay, so I'm taking data from the NCA's website, and this is the latest industry market statistics published in April 2022. Now, as at the end of April 2022, the total mobile subscriptions was 41.3 million. 41.3 million. It was 41.4 million in March. So it meant that between March and April, the subscription dropped by 0.4%. So there are 41.3 million registered, no, not registered, 41.3 million mobile network subscribers for Airtel, Ghana Telecom, that is Vodafone, Glow, and MTN. Okay. Now, MTN has 25.8 million subscribers. Glow has 800,000 subscribers. Vodafone has 7.9 million subscribers. And Airtel Tigo has 7 million subscribers. If you check for, what do you call it, for data subscription, you know, there is the voice subscription and then there is data
But could
subscription.
before you move to that, would you explain this to us perfectly? Because the telcos understand these better, and sometimes when this data comes out, they keep explaining to us what it means. I
Okay.
might be Austin Wood and have 2 or 3 MTN numbers, an additional Airtel Tigo number, and a
Yeah.
Vodafone number. So when you say subscribers, what is the difference between that and human beings? Uh, Does it mean we have 41 million human beings in Ghana using these networks, or these are active numbers people are using? So someone using 2 or 3 lines is considered as 2 or 3, not just one person. What's the difference?
I think you've answered the question for me. So this 41.3 million SIMs in operation, SIM cards in operation. It doesn't necessarily mean 41 million people. So I have 3 SIM cards. I have 2 MTN numbers and 1 Vodafone number. So I'm part of the 41.3. My 3 SIM cards are part of the 41.3. So MTN has 25.8 million SIM cards being operated, right?
Which is active.
Which is active, yes.
Okay, so
That's
let's
why I
use
said
these
being operated.
operational words. So, listeners, or those who have joined us in this space, when he says MTN out of the 41 million have 25 point something, he means active numbers. Right now, if you call or if you do anything with that number, it is possible it would go through. Okay, continue, sir.
So MTN has 25.8 million active SIM cards or active phone numbers for voice calls, right? Voice subscription. Glow has 815,000 active numbers for voice subscription. Vodafone has 7.5 million active numbers for voice subscription. And Airtel Tigo has 7 million numbers for voice subscription. So those are the numbers. Now, to give you a sense of perspective, from the last population and housing census, we were told that Ghana's population is 30.8 million. 30.8 million Ghanaians. But we have 41.3 million active voice subscriptions, which means that some people have multiple subscriptions.
And they are
Some people have
non-Ghanaians as well.
and they are
Including,
non-Ghanaians as
yeah.
well. Yeah. So those are the numbers for voice subscriptions. If you check data subscriptions, we have a total of 23.6 million data subscriptions. 23.6 million data subscriptions. MTN at the end of March had 16.9 million mobile data subscriptions. So they have a market share of 71%. Vodafone's mobile data subscription at the end of March was 3 million, which represents 12.9%. Airtel Tigo had 3.3 million, which represented 14%. And Glow had 335,000, which represents 1.42% of the market share for the telcos. I know beyond the telcos, there's also broadband wireless access. There is Busy, there is Telisol, there is Safeline. And these people also, some of them give out SIM cards. So for Safeline, for example, you need to have a SIM card in your modem, right? I think I've not used Telisol, but I think Telisol also gives out SIM cards. People who know, when we open, when we have the open forum, people who know also tell us some of these things. So it's not just the MTN, Airtel, Tigo, Vodafone, and Glow. You're talking about Safeline, you have Telisol, you have Busy, you have the others as well in this particular space as well. So you look at the numbers, and it's quite a huge number of subscribers and people who depend on telecommunication services to study, to work, to have fun, to connect, and to live, basically. Austin.
Thank you, Kojo. Now, the question I'm asking, and one which is very key. What are the telcos telling us today, 29th July 2022? Break those numbers for us. MTN is telling us that how many active numbers have they been able to register to individuals with Ghana cards? Can you break those numbers for us?
Sometimes getting these numbers is quite difficult, right? Because the telcos hold the data to their chest for one reason or the other. But from my conversation with different people in the space, and these are high-ranking executives in the space, I'm getting the sense that between 70 to 80% of subscribers have registered. Between 70 to 80% of subscribers have registered. But I'm also getting a sense that it may not be so from other sources. For example, if you check a telco like MTN, for example, they have, so as at April 2022, they had 25 million subscribers, but I'm picking that number has increased to about 27 million as we speak. And if you check, about 13, 14, 15 million of those subscribers have been registered. So we are looking at, say, 10 million subscribers on a telco like MTN unregistered. You get it. Vodafone is giving me the indication that they've done about 70% of their registrations. Mind you, Vodafone subscriber base as at April was about 7.5. I want to assume that it's increased to, say, 8 million now. And they are giving me the indication that 70% roughly has registered. Airtel Tigo, I'm also getting a sense that they've also done a similar number. So let's just say between 70% to 80%, or let's strike an average, 75% across board have registered. These are estimates we are making based on conversations. No telco has sent an email to us or texted us with numbers, but we've had conversations with them, and these are the general insights we are getting. So let's just say 75% of the 41 million subscribers have registered. If it's 75% of 41 million subscribers registered, we are looking at 30 million subscribers registered with 11 million subscribers unregistered. These are our own estimates, right? So we are looking at 30 million subscribers registered with 11 million subscribers unregistered. We have only 2 days to go to capture the rest of the subscribers. This is the situation that we have, and this is the insight we have from our conversations with executives of the telcos.
What you glean from the data is a lot of people or a lot of SIM cards have not been registered duly in this SIM registration. But this is the opportune time we would want to tell people to go and register. If after the extended deadline, people are still reluctant, then I think that is all we can do. Why do we need to extend? Should we extend or should we not? Looking at where you said and the data you are gleaning, should we or should we not?
It's a challenge. Usually when there is a movement, when there is a law, when there is a policy, you are usually likely to get 20% of the population not caring about anything or not making any effort to do it, irrespective of how much you push them. So there are people who feel that, well, if the telcos have done up to 75% or even 70%, it's okay. We should still stick with the deadline and shut the others off and find a way of making them register. That's what people are saying. But if you also look at the NIA's data, right, it also gives you credible evidence to also make a case for extension. If the main institution issuing the visa you need to travel for your SIM registration has 1.1 million cards they've not been able to deliver to people who have willingly gone to register, it means that 1.1 million people are being disenfranchised from this exercise. That's number one. Number two, these 1.1 million people are likely to have multiple SIMs. So it means that we are going to have more than 1.1 million SIM cards unregistered. These are people who have gone to register for their Ghana cards and have not received them. So it's not their fault that they don't have the Ghana card to register. So if we say we won't think through this to extend, are we disenfranchising these people and blacking them out of the space? And telecommunications is everything in this modern time. So are we cutting these people off because it's no fault of theirs that the National Identification Authority has not delivered their cards? That's number one. Number two, we've seen the telcos and the NCA spending a lot of money advertising and promoting this exercise. This is not the first time it's been extended. Initially, it was supposed to end in March, and then we had a 3-month extension, and it's ending this month. It's ending in 2 days' time. So if you look at the telcos, NCA, government side, they've also put a lot of work in pushing for the extension, in pushing for people to go and register. Yesterday, I drove through town and I saw a lot of people, East Legon, American House. There were tents where MTN was registering people. I went to the mall, the Vodafone office, there were queues. I went to the MTN head office, there were queues. Airtel Tigo outlets, there were queues. So now people really want to register, and people are seeing the import of this exercise. So it's fair to say that there are some people who just procrastinated and probably didn't get their Ghana cards, probably people who also had their Ghana cards who didn't go for it to register. But it's also important to note that there are people who have been disenfranchised because NIA's work had not been as effective as it was supposed to be. At least the minister's admission through the budget statement says that 1.1 million people have not received their cards. What should those people do? Why should we stick to the deadline? Can we identify these 1.1 million people and say it's not their fault, so they are going to be excluded from the blackout? We cannot do that. So there is a case for an extension of the deadline. And whilst we extend the deadline, there's also a case for the NCA and the telcos to step up their registration. I know that almost all the staff of the telcos now have been enabled to be able to register people. So they can register you and take your biometrics with smartphones. But I think that had not been enough, because if from the onset this had been done, we could have captured a lot of people. From the onset, this wasn't done. This came way later. So I think that we should extend the deadline, at least, if not for anything, for the 1.1 million people who the NIA's inefficiencies have affected. We should extend that deadline with them in mind. And whilst we do that, we should find a way of helping the NIA to really also speed up their work to capture as many people as possible to have Ghana cards, so that they can use same Ghana cards to register. If we feel the NIA cannot do their job effectively, since we are linking Ghana cards to SSNIT cards, so if you get a Ghana card, it replaces your SSNIT number. Let's make it a point that all registered SSNIT contributors can register for their SIMs with their SSNIT numbers. When they register for the Ghana card and the data is merged, that data captured by the telcos is then merged with your Ghana card details. We have over 2 million SSNIT subscribers, so that can mop up some numbers. Can we also say that you can use your driver's license to also register, because it's also captured when you register for your Ghana card? I think we should also consider using the voter's ID to also register, because it's also captured and linked to your Ghana card and merged. So once we are done and we are cleaning up the data, we can merge, synchronize, whatever technical words we use to merge everything, so that at most we get the most Ghanaians registered, whilst the stubborn ones who didn't pay attention to the exercise would have to find a way of being registered later when the extended deadline elapses. I think we should think about those possibilities. It shouldn't just be that we gave a deadline, we extended a deadline, and still you've decided not to. There are people who have just not decided not to register. They just cannot do anything. For example, there are people who go to register their SIMs, and the data on their SIMs, the names on their SIMs and their Ghana cards don't match, because it's either the NIA messed up with the registration of their names for the Ghana card, or the original registration on their SIM is also different. So those have to be corrected. If you have a problem with your Ghana card, you have to come to Accra to fix it. I think if you have a problem with your Ghana card anywhere you are, you have to come to Accra to fix it. So people in that particular bracket also need solutions to their problems to be able to register their SIM cards. So yes, we had a deadline, we extended it, but I don't think it's been enough. There are
but Kojo, to be fair, aren't we giving excuses? Because looking at the last excuse you gave, how can you go for a Ghana card? You know your name is Austin Wood with an E. They give you Austin Wood without an E. That one, somebody might say, okay, that is the issue. But if you are Yawajimai and they have written Yawasamwa, getting your Ghana card, how can you say that? Didn't you see it when it was given to you? Or didn't you see the challenge? So why are you taking a defaultive Ghana card with a wrong name to do your SIM registration? Should we be encouraging people to be responsible citizens?
But what I know with fixing Ghana card registration and the correction is that if there's a problem, they cannot fix it there for you immediately.
So you shouldn't have gone to the telco's office in the first place, because your card was defaultive and you can't use it. Go and fix it before you go there and join the queue, creating all sorts of unnecessary queues.
Yes, that's the other thing. Some people, my name is Joseph Akoto Boateng, right? Sometimes when the telcos also captured data, they also made mistakes. But when they finished capturing your data, you know the initial SIM registration we did, right? When you register your SIM, they made mistakes, but when they finish registering, they don't show you that this is the data they have of you on their system. You only find some of these problems when you go to do your SIM registration. So it's not really straightforward like that. So I think that there are problems and there are issues, and we should and the telco industry is data led. They can get all this data to prove their points. I think the telcos have largely told the NCA and the comms ministry that based on the data they have and the insights they have, even the extension period is not enough for them, and they need to do something about it. I am not.
So let me ask you this question on that as well. So if you go to your telco, their office, and your name is different from the one that is on your Ghana card, what would the telco do? Because it is you there and you have your card. So I don't get it. They will not register you.
They cannot register you if the details are different. But I think the two of us have spoken enough, right? Divine wants to speak, and Divine is a tech person. He's a co-founder of Stimulus Technologies. He does all sorts of amazing things in tech, and he's followed this very well. So let's hear from the others. There are people who are bankers,
So
who are
Divine,
in the telco
you
space
can
and stuff.
share your thoughts with us. Or those who have requested for the mic too, we would accept it and you can speak. So once you become a speaker, let us be decorous, and also let us not be speaking when you have not been asked to speak. So once you are a speaker and you want to speak, you raise your hand so that we appreciate it and we will do it in an orderly manner. So, Divine, let's hear you say. What do you have to share with us? Thank you.
Good morning. Yes, so a very good conversation so far. I think the first thing is to answer the question. I mean, to extend or not to extend, and I think they should extend it. My reason being that one, the data from the NCA themselves speaks to the fact that they need to extend. Now, Kojo mentioned some numbers, but I don't think Kojo has really dived deep into the numbers. Based on the data NCA gave us, Kojo already mentioned that voice data as at April was 41.3 million. Now, he failed to mention the data subscription because NCA has separated data subscriptions from the voice data in terms of the SIM cards. Now, that data we have from NCA is for March 2022, and that is 23.6 million. If you should add the two, it gives you about 64.5 million. Let's say roughly 65 million SIM cards in the system. Now, by the data from the NCA themselves, they keep on updating us every time people have linked their cards to their SIM cards. And they stopped doing that from 2nd June. The last data NCA gave us is on their Facebook page, was on 2nd June. And that's data from May 2022. And in that data, they said 16 million people have linked their cards to their SIM cards. But there's another step. You have to go to the telco and complete your registration. And it is only 13.2 million people that have done that as at May 2022. Since then, NCA has not been giving us any more figures. So let's just see, from October 1st, when the registration started, to 27th May, that's roughly 7 months, and we have 13.2 million people that have done successful completion of registration. Now, that number out of the 65 million SIM cards we have in the system, it's way below the numbers Kojo gave about 50-70%. I mean, let's just say from May up to now, we even doubled the number of computer registrations. And let's even round it up to 30 million. That's even less than 50% of the 65 million SIM cards in the system. So by their own data, we need to extend the registration. I mean, it just doesn't make sense that you are going to cut all those SIM cards off the system. Now, the other thing too about what the finance minister said about 1.1 million people.
I'm coming, Divine. Let me ask you something or question on this so that it would be in an orderly manner. Are you not doing double counting? Because if I have a Vodafone SIM, I use it for calls and it's on my phone. Wouldn't they also count it as data? Because I would be using it for other data purposes as well. Wouldn't that be double counting to get your 64 million?
Well, that could be, but I mean, I'm just saying this based on the numbers that the telcos give us, because they specifically separated voice subscription from data subscription. and using that number. I mean, even if we just want to say, okay, let's just take the voice as what it is and the data, because people like Glow have got separate data SIMs. MTN, for instance, your TurboNet SIM is different from your voice SIM. So all those numbers come to add together. Even on Vodafone, when you have your Vodafone TurboNet, your SIM is different from your voice subscription. And I think that's the reason why NCA has separated the numbers. The data is different from voice subscription. But I mean, even let's just be conservative and say that there could be an overlap in between. So let's even make the number 50 million SIM cards. And even looking at what the NCA gave us, they specifically said people who have completed their SIM card linkages. So that means linking their SIM cards to their Ghana cards. They didn't say individuals that have done that. And I'm even looking at the individual numbers and the 1.1 million, which we're referring to the finance minister and all that. Remember, prior to this new SIM card registration, you can only be 18 years out and above before you have a SIM card. Now, when you look at the FAQ for the SIM card registration, the telcos have reduced that number to 15 years. And that's exactly the number that you can get your Ghana card. It could even mean that people in SHS and stuff that have even not bought SIM cards yet, we are trying to count that number into the total number of people who have got NIA cards and making an estimate that we have given the NIA cards, this number of people have linked or have not linked. So when you look at the numbers, I mean, querying the numbers NIA gives us, the telcos themselves have from NCA their own numbers. I don't even know why they stopped giving out updates on the number of people who have linked their SIM cards since May. It just tells you that they have to extend this thing. From October up to now is 9 months. 9 months is inadequate for you to link over, yes, even 40 million SIM cards you have. And looking at all the issues you have, could you mention some of the issues? And I overheard you telling about people having mistakes. Could be, the person not checking what. I have a similar problem now, and I'm conflicted. It's not that I have my name wrong. My name is correct. My pictures and everything are correct. I had a problem when I was going for a card replacement because I lost my card. And this is the funny thing that happened. When I lost my card going for replacement. I was told that per my police report and whatever I had in the system, I had a wrong date of birth. My date of birth is 26 June, but on the people told me that in my system, my date of birth is 26 June. Okay, now they are saying the problem is from me, and I challenge it. I told them to go into their system, check the document I gave them when we were doing registration, and you could see that it's not a problem for me. I mean, even if you check everything we fill, they check and they confirm it's from the NCA. But here's the funny part. They said they had to print the card with a defective date of birth, that is 26 June, from the system. I had to take that card. Then I have to now go to LWAC and apply for registration card update for them to change my date of birth to the 28 June. Now, I've been going to LWAC for the past 2-3 weeks. Anytime I go there, the queue there, I can't wait and go through that. So I'm conflicted whether to go and register my SIM card and even go to the bank and use my 26 June as my date of birth. What happens when I later on go and do an update of my records? Do I have to go back again and change? And that also brings a little bit of flaw in people who have problems with their system, with their cards, that they have to go and do updates. I expect the telcos or the NCA to say, okay, we want to use the Ghana card number because that's the unique identifier. So that, later on when you go and update any record on your cards or anything, it gets to link up. But now the telcos collect your date of birth, they compare everything. And when they realize it doesn't match what is on your card, your registration can't go through. So based on all these things and stuff that are happening, I would say it's a definite extension of this registration. They should extend it to somewhere around the end of the year or even next year by this time, because looking at the numbers, it's just not possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Divine. But also, let us not lose sight of the fact that we keep saying extend. There is a reason we are doing this same registration with our Ghana cards. And if we keep extending, we would also be lagging behind on the decision we took and how we think that it is going to help us. Because if we say we are registering cards and we have to give a deadline and extend it by a year, then it means that we would have failed and nobody would even trust us with deadlines anymore. Deadlines are given based on projections that by this particular point in time we should be able to use this thing to help in policy decision makings. You are tweeting at call me underscore Abrantier. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Uh, I just finished my chores and I saw this space and I decided to hop in. And it's good this place is happening. And I want to thank Kojo for his submission and his explanation. Now, there's one fact that we are failing to mention that there are some people, no matter the extension or the deadline that maybe we extend the deadline, some people would still not register. And those chunks of people are also key in the data we have. For instance, I'm a data scientist. Okay, let's say I'm still learning to become a better data scientist, but I work in the tech as well too. So I work with data. There are some group of people, I do research as well. So when this whole Ghana card registration started, so I took it upon myself to do some research to find out. So I went to the villages. So I went to Adan, I went to some inner part of Accra, so like Choko, Jamestown. There are some people who feel that linking their SIM card with the Ghana card, it's going to enable government to have every detail about them. So such as when I asked them what kind of details, so there was some landlord mentioned property tax, that they are not comfortable paying property tax. So once they link their Ghana card to their SIM card and to their bank account and stuff, so government is able to know the properties they have, because now they use the Ghana card as the new TIN number, and their SNIT details, they link it to the SNIT. So that is an issue for them. Now I went further. So in part of my research as well, some group of boys I met, they said, oh, if we link our Ghana card to our SIM card, we will not be able to do the frauds we do. Because if I use my phone number to call someone, the person can submit my phone number to the telcos and they can track my number using the Ghana card I've used to register it. So that one it makes it easier for the police or security service to catch the person. So those people, there are some set of people who say, okay, they will not link their Ghana card because of that. Now, another issue too is, you remember when this Ghana card registration started, there was this noise from the opposition party that no, they are not going to do, people will not do. So like in places like Adan, the few people I spoke to, we did the survey I did, they told me that they were not going to register because the opposition, let me not say minority, the opposition said they should not do the registration. So they are standing by, they will not do the Ghana card registration. Some few days ago, I don't know if it's Agboja or something, I think he's one of the ranking members. Is it that in health or I don't think it's health. I think I think he's a ranking member in the roads committee in parliament. He said in his constituency, he has he estimated about 25,000 people or so. But as at now, only about 2,500 people have gotten their Ghana card. But he feels that NIA is trying to disenfranchise his people if they use the Ghana card for voters registration. So that is a way for government. Government is trying to limit the numbers of voters in his constituency. And I asked myself, so how about if, because he's also from the opposition, his constituency has said, okay, because the minority or the opposition say we should not do this Ghana card registration, they decided not to do the Ghana card registration. But now government decided, because most people did not know government was coming up with this linking of Ghana card to SIM card, to bank accounts, to SNIT, to TIN number. People felt like, okay, it was not useful to them. That's another issue. Now, another issue is that I remember, because I did this for my colleague in school. This was, I think, 2018 or 2019. I can't get the year correctly. My wife somebody had registered her SIM card for her so many years ago. So the Momo number is bearing her name, but the SIM registration, the SIM card name is bearing the person who bought the SIM card for her. Now, I know there was a time MTN sent what we call KYC, know your customers, that they'll send you the link, you fill it online yourself. So you put your correct name, put the phone number, then you hold your ID card your ID card that you have the correct name, and you send a picture to them, and it is done in the comfort of your home. So if you check, I think the next day or next 2 days, the changes are made. People did not take this serious as well. Now, my question now comes to the fact that when will people, or when will Ghanaians take things like this serious? When are we going to take things like this serious? With these reasons like that, if government get to now hear all these reasons people are not linking their SIM card, or people, the reason why they were not doing their Ghana card registration, do you feel government are we giving them enough reason to like, okay, let's extend it for the people? Because even if we extend, there are some people on social media. I think there was an FM station. Is it Hits FM or so? I don't know. They did on TikTok, and they said Stubborn Academy shares to those of us who have decided not to register our SIM card, and they play Stubborn Academy, Stubborn Academy. Now, what message are we passing to other people who feel like, okay, no, me too, I will not register because this person is a celebrity and the person is saying that he's not going to register? What message are we passing to those people? And we know how the mindset of some people work. People look for reasons from other people not to do something. We wait for last minute before we get to do stuff. And somebody was asking me, I teach part-time, or is it part-time, or I also assist at Accra Technical University, computer science. And I asked my student asked me, say, what is the key importance of this Ghana card linking to SIM card, to bank account, SNIT and thing? And I told them that data is the new good. And they asked, oh, sir, explain, what do you mean by data is the new good? And I drew their attention to what the Vice President said, that if given the opportunity, he would choose Ghana card over 1,000 interchanges. And I explained to them that, you see, data is something that people don't take it serious. But if we have a data that is seamless, like we can interconnect, so there is a connection between, let's say we talk about the thing, SIM cards, bank accounts, and SNIT. There's one connection they have together, which is the Ghana card. It makes it easier for you to get data of your citizens. For instance, somebody has been declared dead. There's no information about the person. You don't have a phone number of the person, but you are able to find the Ghana card on the person. With that Ghana card number, you can pull details of the person. You get to know the next of kin, where the person is from, where the person stays. You have data of your people. You know how to do projections. So, for instance, the national population census that was done.
Chief, this is not to cut you. So, listening to all that you've said, you feel that people have not been serious with the registration. A lot of work had been done. You gave us some politicization angles as well, but you don't think that we should extend the registration. You think we should just stick to the deadline, and those who are not serious, we find a way to deal with that, right?
That is my honest opinion. If we have to do that, we so that people will know that yes, they should take things seriously.
Okay, let me give others the chance to speak. All right, then later maybe you can come in again. Blackman, your hand is up, so I'll come to you. Then after that, Senna, Stani, Mr. B will come to you as well. So Blackman, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, Kojo. Maybe I might need some education, because I think beyond the deadline, there would be an avenue or remedy to continue registering people who come of age and all that. Is that not the case?
That should be the case.
Yes. So if there's an avenue to register people who are coming of age and all that, then there should be an avenue to have a continuous process of registration throughout. I mean, it's not something that is going to terminate, said that people who are not able to register on due date will be completely disenfranchised without any remedy at all. So maybe we need to relook at this whole thing again and see if remedies can be put in place for people who have not registered their SIM, who have not received their Ghana cards. Some remedy should be put in place so that they would also be part of the continuous registration process, so that they will not be disenfranchised for any reason whatsoever.
You've spoken well. I think ideally that should be the case. But so far, the NCA has been communicating that if you don't register by 31st of this month, you will lose all services. So let's wait and see what the 31st of this month brings. But I think that your points are solid. People should have the opportunity to register continuously. People getting new cars, people coming of age. So let's wait and see what happens. I will
Yeah,
let
could you something small on what he just said? I think that is very, very important and key. Why are we registering our SIM cards with our Ghana card? It's to stop fraud. It's to stop fraud. So I'm asking myself, don't we see it as a national security issue when on 1st August, even if 500,000 people can't use their numbers, it's a national security issue. So I'm asking myself, can we take a decision that you will not be able to use it because people have an affinity towards the numbers they use. Some people have been using their numbers for over 20 years. So when you have the opportunity, you can go to the telco and the same number will be reactivated. Shouldn't it be that way? I'm just saying, I don't know those who are in tech. Shouldn't it be that way that you cannot use it at a point? But when you go there and register, you can get it. Or is it the thinking that once you don't get it, I don't know. What is it? Could you, if you can help us with that?
Well, I don't want to be the one to help. I know the speakers, a lot of them also have experience in this space. So let's pick something quickly from Divine and go to the other three speakers, Senna, Stani, and Mr. B. So Divine, you want to answer this? Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying that the NCA gave about 5 or 6 reasons why they want the SIM cards to be registered, and the fraud is just one of them, which we keep on talking about it, like that's the biggest thing. Again, the question I always ask is that when you should cut my SIM card from this, are you not trampling on my rights of communication or my freedom to express myself? Because I express myself through my SIM card, and due to the situation of the government, you cut off my SIM card. So are you not trampling on my freedom of expression? And that's one question I always keep on asking, because when you look at all the reasons why NCA Act, they said one reason why you need to register a SIM card is for you to stay connected. And I've not registered and you cut my SIM card off. Is that not really going against whatever it is they are saying? And communication goes both ways. You can't say, okay, maybe you cannot make calls, but you can receive calls. But what if it's an emergency? Just like what you mentioned, doing maybe I see a thief around. The NCA has even launched this whole thing about when you see something, say something. Or maybe I'm at a space where I need an ambulance to request quickly. And because I've not linked my SIM card to my Ghana card, you will not allow me to call somebody for an emergency situation. That is so unfair. So as how do you call it? Senna said, it should be like a continuous thing where they allow us to do it. Some things can be linked. I know that telco, for instance, if it's not linked your SIM card to your mom to your Ghana card, they don't allow you to take things like quick load and some of those stuff. There are some small services you could deny people from doing it. Perhaps you could say, okay, let's downgrade everybody who has not linked their SIM cards to their phones to, let's say, 3G network. So even if you're at a place where you need to have fast connection, maybe you'll be on 2G to be very slow for you. And if you want your speed to be very fast, you'll be forced to go and do that. There are some small things we can do to, let people, force them in a way to go and do it. Other than making this thing like children and their headmaster kind of thing, go and do it or I'll sack you. That's how it's sounding now. If you don't do it, we cut you off and you can't do anything with your SIM card. And that's what I think.
Okay, Divine, thank you. So let's hear from Mr. B and then we come to Senna.
Okay, Kojo, thank you very much. And just one piece to Divine on the issue that he raised on the legality or the rights of the people. This matter has gone to the court, and the court has ruled that every single process being adopted by the national registration or the NCA regarding the registration of the SIM cards and all is lawful, and the NIA process is also lawful. So just to let you know that this matter my fundamental issue is this, Kojo, and I think that all the conversations we've heard speaker after speaker, and you guys do a fantastic job on. For me, the bigger issue is the Ghanaian attitude of waiting to the last time to do everything that is mandated by law. That is the fundamental difficulty that I have. Kojo, from the time that the decision was taken that we will extend this registration to July, all the reasons that we are giving now for why we have to extend the registration were given at the time. I happen to work in an organization where people come to register, and I saw the number of people who were coming in to register their Ghana card. And I can tell you 90% of those who were coming in there were foreigners who had to get the foreigners part of the Ghana card. Ghanaians who were coming in there to register, interestingly, were Ghanaians who were outside the country and have come home and are going to register to get their cards because perhaps it gives them the advantage of coming in with their card without having to go through those long immigration processes. But the moment the Ministry of Communication issued that directive that the exercise will not be extended, come and see the number of people who are queuing. At 5 a.m., people are now queuing to come and register their cards. And it's only because the directive has come in there to say that we will not allow you to use your SIM cards if you have not linked your card. And that for me is the issue. We can extend it for 2 years, 3 years. The single attitude of Ghanaians not being bothered about following what has been done and waiting to the last minute will come up again. My only point that I'll add to it, and I'll be done, is that the notice or the re-emphasis that the Communication Ministry issued on the deadline on the SIM card, for me, came in a bit late. So people did not have enough time to do what they have to do to get the Ghana cards and then go in there to go and register their card. And for that, my suggestion is this, that the ministry should give 1 month notice to the linkage of the Ghana card with the SIM card. That 1 month period is solely for people who have had their cards and for whatever reason that have been due, can go and link their cards and move on. As for waiting for people, all those who have retrieved their Ghana card or have not been able to retrieve their Ghana cards, being given ample time to go and retrieve their card, Kojo, I bet you nothing will change. There are people who have designed, and they are showing it more like a trophy. They haven't registered for Ghana card, they haven't linked their SIM cards to Ghana card. They will not do anything with their Ghana card because it's in their advantage, or somehow it shows how strong they are by not doing any of them and still going around doing whatever. It's the same argument that came when the issues of COVID vaccination come. People will have every excuse as to why they will not do it. And so for me, there has to be a cutoff point. My suggestion is that let's extend it for 1 month, allow people enough time to go and link their Ghana cards. Those who have issues to go pick up their Ghana cards, link it up. At a point, let's cut it. I can personally tell you that the fraud that were being perpetrated with MTN SIM cards since this exercise started considerably has gone down. And if you were really to emphasize this in here, I think that the other aspect that they are using now will also go off, because clearly they are being taken out of business because they have acquired these SIM cards, lots of them way behind. And so they are not able to link one card to all those cards, because I think there is a limit on how many cards you can link onto the Ghana card, and so they can't do that. And so these are my thoughts on it, Kojo. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think that it's been very exciting. I've learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. B. So you think we should extend for 1 month? After that, people should just be punished for not following the regulation and the deadlines. Thank you. I'll go to... Okay, Senna, your hand is down now, so I'll go to Stanley Boham. Stanley, please go ahead.
Kojo, I'm up.
Thank you very much.
Senna, let Stanley finish, and then you can come, okay? So please unmute.
Okay, so I think it should be extended because in as much as we are blaming citizens for our lackadaisical attitudes, we shouldn't also forget that the NIA has to be blamed at some point here, because for instance, I have to update my details on the card, and then I went to the district office, and then they told me, I think 2 months ago, that's in June, I think June or May, yeah, they told me, it was in May, that they are going to give the mandate to district offices to start updating cards or records starting from June. And up till now, the NIA hasn't given the mandate to district offices. And personally, I'm in the Western region. I was told by one rude NIA worker that if I think I have any issue, I should go to Accra to go and do the updates. And I mean, that got me very furious. I decided not to follow up again. So I have another guy's number in that same district. That is the Wasa West District Assembly, where they do the registration of Ghana card. So I keep calling him to update me on the issue of giving the mandate to district offices to update. So some of us, because of where we are, where we find ourselves, our work can't give us that long hours or long days to just come to Accra to register for updates and then come back to wherever we are. So I think that is also causing the choke in the system, that people have reluctantly decided not to register. And so I think if the NIA should give mandates to district offices, because I think they have NIA has an office in every district. So if they give them that mandate to also register or update people's record, I think the process will be done in due time. So I think it should be extended, and then NIA should also give the district offices the mandate to also update people's record and all that. Because I also have a brother who happens to have changed his name to match all his records. Now he has to update that of the Ghana card, because now it's going to be like wherever you go, you have your data must be matched with your Ghana card, and his name is different from his records on the Ghana card. He also has to update, and they told him he is in Tamale, and they told him to come to Accra, which it's all costing head. So I think the NIA should do their homework well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Senna, you can speak now. Then I'll come to Lexus Agri. Please don't mind the sound in the background. You can also mind it. That's my son. Okay, so Senna, go ahead.
All right. Good morning, colleagues. And Kojo, thanks for the opportunity to speak on this space. For me, per the question that you asked, I would say yes, the registration period should be extended. And we should all understand that the SIM is not now that we are registering it. It's a re-registration. So for me, I had a problem when we tried to relegate the passport, for instance, to the backdrop, because I registered my card initially with my passport. If anything was to go by, the Ghana card, a lot of people have not yet acquired their Ghana card. And from all the speakers, we can understand that it's taking a lot of people a hell of a time to enable them get their Ghana card. And the mistake that have been made on it and corrected them is taking a whole lot of time for people to get it, to enable them re-register their card. Per what and Ghana card registration office date with SNIT card, I was thinking that with all these our various cards that are in existence, the SNIT card, the passport, we're asked to link our Ghana card with our SNIT card. So it's just about synchronizing our data. Wouldn't it have been possible for NCA to allow us, after getting our Ghana card, we just synchronize it with our passport? If we are to build one database center, makes it easy for this re-registration to go on. For instance, my mom also registered how do we call it, card with a passport. My mom is at Biker, Old Biker, in the Jaskan Boem district. How to get a Ghana card, she was able to get it. And now registering her SIM, re-registering her SIM now, I have to bring her to Accra. But my 70-year-old mother, I went to be in a queue with her. I have to come back. I have to come back. I can't keep on doing that thing. It's no fault of hers. With a queue, do I have to wake her up at that dawn and take her there? So generally, there are a lot of people who want to re-register their card, but they don't have the Ghana card that is a sole card that we have to use to re-register our SIM. So for me, I was thinking that they should have just made the code available just at the day with the snake one, so that we can just synchronize our already cards, like our passport. Passport, we know passport are a very powerful document all around the world. So why can't we just synchronize the passport with the Ghana cards? Makes this re-registration a bit more easier. So that's my major problem that I have with this system. If the acquisition of Ghana card were to be that seamless and very easy, re-registration of SIM will be very much also easy. But it's very difficult getting the Ghana card. And the queue that we have to go in to able to get the cards re-registered. I had a problem initially. Why do I have to give my biometric data to a private company? That's the telcos. I have a big issue with that. But the registration is going on. So for me, I think we should extend it. And we should make citizens' life a bit more easier than this cumbersome way we are going about doing things in this country. It's a headache for me, to be frank. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But I think that I need to issue this so that we make progress. There is a law which says that we should use the Ghana card for this registration. People went to court. The courts have ruled. So if we come on a Twitter space and we share ideas on us using passports as well, that ship has long sailed. That is not
Austin,
where we are now. Yeah.
Austin, you see, that's one person was making about the MPs, how they are making allegation about disenfranchised people. The way we approach things, national issues in Ghana, is one of the reasons why we always find challenge with this. Because you and I know very well that that one of the most authentic cards that we have, identification system that we have in this country, is a passport. You know that, right?
See, I understand, but you see, we have moved beyond that.
Is the process.
You see, the courts have ruled, so we have moved beyond that. Today, we cannot plead with the state that we should use passport. So when we talk about that in this space, what do we achieve? We have moved beyond that. The courts have ruled that use your Ghana card.
Good, use your Ghana card. But the fact is, how many people have the Ghana cards?
That is what we are discussing. So if we suggest that we should use passport, hold on.
I'm coming. So we should try as much as possible. For me, with the re-registrator of the SIM cards, it would have been very much ideal when we have exhausted enough to know that about 60% to 70% of Ghanaians have the Ghana card. If we can confirm that, then we can take stringent measures to ensure that everybody must re-register. Then we can put a deadline on it.
Senna, listen.
How many people have the Ghana card?
Senna, you see, if I don't moderate this thing well, right, people will come and repeat what you are saying, and that is not what we are discussing. We are not discussing whether it is right to use only Ghana card for the SIM registration. We've gone beyond that. The courts have ruled. So when you talk about that in this space, another person has that same view. I have that same view. Bright Simmons has that same view. What do we want to achieve with that? We cannot achieve anything with that. What we are saying is, in our current situation, it is only the Ghana card. The courts have ruled. People do not have it. What can we do with the Ghana card? That is what we should discuss now. But to suggest that we should use passports as well, when the courts have ruled, when that cannot be changed, what do we cannot change Austin, it in this space.
I know the Ghana card, we are creating a whole national database. I appreciate that. So I'm not going to go on. But what I'm also trying to explain here is, How many people have the Ghana card? Some people don't have it, but they use their SIM card to do a number of transactions, do a number of calls. Somebody say it's a national security threat. Yes, it is. But I don't have the Ghana card. It's no fault of mine. I've tried to go through the registration process. They have not been able to produce the Ghana card for me. So what do? Do I have to lose my SIM card because I've not been able to acquire the Ghana card, which I went through the queue?
No, that is a different thing you are bringing in. But I'm saying that to suggest that we should use the passport driving, we have gone beyond that. We cannot do that.
Why I've said that is because I was thinking we should have synchronized all our cards, but we've moved beyond that, as you said. We've moved beyond that. If we have moved beyond that, what I'm saying is that before we put a deadline to this SIM re-registration, as a nation, we should be able to exhaust the time to know that at least 60 to 70% of citizens have the Ghana card. But here like the case, you and I know very well, a lot more people don't have access to the Ghana card. A lot more people have to do editing to their Ghana card because of one mistake to the other. So if a lot more people don't have the Ghana card, and we are stopping more people, want to stop people from using their SIM, what are we doing? Somebody clearly mentioned that. It's a national security threat, and it is true. So we should look at the National Communication Authority. They should look at National Registration Authority. They should look at how to be able to make citizens to acquire the card more first. If they're able to get the card more first, then we can start putting deadlines to this SIM re-registration. So for me, I believe we need to extend it beyond the time that we have now, so that we can push more people to enable them get their Ghana card. Because last when I listened to Mr. Prof. Kenny Atifa, while Bernard Davile was interviewing him, he said they have a shortage of cards also, and there's a backlog of cards that they've not yet produced. It's not the fault of the citizen. I've gone through the process, but I don't have the card now. So what should I do?
So,
I'm being punished.
You are for the extension because of the various problems that you've mentioned, right?
Yes.
I think your point has been made forcefully and powerfully. So let's hear from Junior. All right.
Kojo, I think I'm supposed to be the one speaking now then.
Lexus, let's hear you.
Let's go ahead.
No,
okay.
Let's hear you.
Okay, so I will get straight to the point. The name is Lexus and not Lexus. That is just by the way. I've paid attention to all the back and some people want to just voice out. They are frustrated by the system and they just want to voice out based on what Senna is saying. I understand him perfectly. But then also we should also have the idea that where do we drop the hammer and say enough is enough? We can't extend it. Let me give you a very typical example. By the way, I don't live in Ghana full time. I maximum a month or 2 months is for a whole year. I'll be in Ghana. But I took time, stayed in the country, extended my stay, even though based on that I lose my job and I had to search for another job. Get the Ghana card, registered everything that needs to be done last year before coming back, because I knew how important it is for me personally and how I don't want to be frustrated with this back and forth of you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to go and get this. If you don't have it, you won't get it. And I use the typical German system, whereby when you go, for example, if you are jobless, you have to go to the job center and register that you are jobless before they will give you money. They will demand for A, B, C, D. If you don't have it, they can't help you. It is basically our right and our responsibility. We have right to get access to our mobile phone, to use a phone to make calls and everything. But we have the responsibility to provide what the state is asking for. Second, also, if the card can't be printed now, they should be able to send us, what do we call this thing? For example, when I got my card in Germany, they don't send you instantly the card. They send you a letter giving you your ID number. An ID number, so that if you have to present the card, which takes up to 3 months before they send you the card plastic thing, you can use that letter to do all the process of registering anything and everything. So why can't the NIA give us such a letter with a specific ID number so that everybody can use that to register his or her SIM card? Secondly, also, is it that the Ghana card is purposely because of the telcos? Everybody's asking for extension. What are the telcos also doing that to curtail people from asking for more extension? If I'm a service provider and I have customers and I know I'm losing my customers, I have to be calling them. I have to be asking, I need your Ghana card. If you don't bring it at this point in time, we can't have service with you anymore. Why do you want to push all the blame on one side?
No, but Lexus, on that, sorry, I'm coming. They do it frequently. They do it. Thank you.
Well, from the SMS I've been receiving from MTN for Momo transactions, pay with mobile money for airtime and everything, if that is the same amount or 50% of that effort is being put in for us to register our SIM card, we wouldn't be crying today.
Yeah, that is why I'm saying that, you see, let's not make definite statements. I receive it at least 3 times a week.
I haven't received any,
because
but I receive
maybe
every day. I'm stating mine based on my experience. I can show you I can send you screenshot. I receive every day SMS from MTN telling me that I should buy credit using the MTN Momo. But I don't remember the last time that they sent me a message telling me that I have to register my Ghana, my SIM card with the Ghana card. The whole thing is that we are all asking for our rights, but we should also be looking at our responsibility. We need to get the Ghana card. If it's very important for you, anything that is important for any human being, that person must find time and do it. Do it and insist on it. I also slept at MTN. Went there at 4 a.m. I went there at 3 a.m. because I needed it. I just didn't want the time to. Any bank will call me that I need your Ghana card. You don't have a Ghana card. You're going to do this. You're going to. I just wanted to avoid all those things. Therefore, I extended for 4 good weeks just to get the thing done. So if your grandma, if your auntie, we understand that, but the system is asking us for these things so that we move on. As much as it is making us uncomfortable, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is the card that they are demanding for. Let's get the card. If you are not able to get the card, we should get these special numbers on the card that the MTN or the telcos need to register so that we can register.
Yeah, but Lexus,
yes,
you seem to be blaming citizens. Do you know the challenges citizens are facing? You see, let's not confuse registering your SIM with getting the NIA card. The NIA card, people are going there and through no fault of theirs, they are not getting it. And if you listen at start, we gave the detail. If 1 million people have registered, and the finance minister on Monday told Parliament that their cards have not been issued to them, not by any fault of theirs, but because NIA has technical and also deficiencies and challenges, those people cannot even register because they have gone through the whole process but cannot get their card through no fault of theirs.
So are we also saying that the 1 million people are people who are using mobile phones? Therefore, that is why they can't register their SIM card?
No, I'm saying that it moves on. Other people are facing other challenges because let me say this. You see, when you talk about the hinterlands and you are telling somebody to go to the district office, you see, Ghana has peculiar problems. When you say that somebody in Offenso North District, Akumadan, where I am from, a village called Sanso, should stop farming, right, and go and get the Ghana card, they will not have money for transport. The reason they are able to do
Please, if I may chip in.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Sir. The reason we are able to acquire the voting one is the Electoral Commission brings it to our doorsteps, closer to the people. But districts, people travel longer time and distance to get to their districts to be able to go and do the Ghana card. And you see, it's not everybody who can leave their work for 4 weeks and can lose the job like you just to get a Ghana card. It is not everybody who has that laxity that you have.
It's not about laxity, it's about responsibility. The state is demanding that from me. It's the reason why I keep saying this is because I just look at the German system. When they're asking for A, B, C, D, and you don't get it, you can lament and bring in 100 lawyers. They will still go back to the basics.
But the first responsibility of a man is to feed his family. So if he is going to the farm to feed his family, that responsibility of getting a Ghana card cannot override feeding his family by going to the farm.
Then that person shouldn't own a mobile phone. That person shouldn't own anything.
I think, guys, hold on. I think you guys are saying the same things. What Lexus is saying is that as a citizen, it's your responsibility to actively partake in things that the state wants to do. It's your responsibility. So if we say register your SIM card, get a Ghana card, you must do all you can to get it. What Austin is also saying is that as much as it's my responsibility, I also have a right to have a system that is a bit more seamless and stress-free. And what we've noticed in this country is that anything and almost everything that needs to be done, we usually have nice things we want to do, but the execution is fraught with challenges. I'll go off tangent and give you... Nana, I'm coming. I'll give you more nuts. Sorry. I'm taking care of the boy today, so
you attend to him.
Now, let me just land with my point. Okay. And I may go a bit off tangent. People want to go and work with immigration service, and they have to go and join queues at LWAC at 1 a.m.
Thank you.
And sometimes stay there for 2-3 days. Exactly. Why can't immigration service or police service have different centers, have men man them, and know that for any queue management system, for your processes, in a day, you can manage 50 people in a very healthy way. So let's spread the outlets so that we can do proper queue management and people management so that people don't have to travel and come and sleep at LWAC at 1 a.m. If you are registering for SIMs, can we have a different system where we can capture the data easily for people to then do their biometrics? If we are doing national ID, can we do it better? I think you guys are saying the same things. Lexus, in 100% support. It's your responsibility to get it. But it's also our right to have certain things done seamlessly so as not to put us through stress. My mother is 68 years old. She has a knee problem. And she had to go join a queue at dawn to get a Ghana card. In my frustration, I had to go get her from the village to come to Accra to get it. Why must I spend 400 cedis to buy fuel to go and 400 cedis to buy fuel back? And also pay an extra premium to have somebody to come home to register her when those things can be done easily. You were talking about Germany. Germany will enjoin you to toe the line, but they'll make sure they put things in place such that in your quest to toe the line, you are not killing yourself too much. Do we do that consciously in this country?
Kojo, I keep saying this. If we are to tell you the other side of Germany, some of you will be surprised. Let me give you a typical example. In Berlin, for example, if you apply for any card, it's supposed to take you a maximum of 3 months to 6 months. Now, it is taking people 3 years, and they are still not getting it. And they still go there every time, and they give them extension. If you don't go, you don't get an answer. You call on the phone, and nobody will answer you. It's a system. As much as we know, we have to make it easier for everybody. They are demanding for something. It is you that you need it. So make the effort and get it. When you are done, you don't need a system again. So you fold your arms. But as long as you need it more than they need you, and they have given you not enough space for you to operate. Force and get it, and then move out. That is all that I'm saying. I understand to bring grandma to it is it's horrible because I have to take my auntie, I have to take my godmother, and it's not easy. Back and forth, wait, and then today you won't be served and all that. It is not easy. It is not pleasant. I don't wish that on anybody. But at the end of the day, the fact remains these are the demands. Are we going to say due to the circumstance we find ourselves in, we are going to always wish for extension? How many extensions do we need for us to get everybody on board? Don't we have people who stopped immediately? They said they extended it for another 3 months. They stopped going to MTN of the telco's office or going to the municipal office for the Ghana card. My cousin is one. So I'm using all these.
You're giving us the backgrounds and everything. So to extend or not, what do you say to wrap up for you?
For me, if there should be any extension, we want to know what the telcos are going to do to get the people that they have not registered to get registered. And if there should be any extension, we also want to know how the National Identification Authority is going to ease the system in order for the people who are still waiting for their card to get their card, so that it will be they can register their SIM card and etc. Because if we should extend it, and at the end of the day, these two things are not achieved, then the extension didn't make any sense, if I should put it that way. But if we should extend it and these people that are blocked or in this trauma will get the issue resolved, then let's extend it. But at the end of the day, when we extend, we should know exactly after this extension, there is nothing more we are going to do, so that people will get up and get things done. Deadline is a deadline. Let us all follow. In our various ways, we all accept deadlines. So why can't you accept deadline from the state? That is all I would say. Sometimes we are not even paid salary, but at the end of the day, we accept deadlines and we work towards it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Junior
Thank
is our
you.
next. Thank you, Lexus. Junior is our next speaker. So after Junior and Adika, I don't know if I got the name right. I'll pick 5. So we will do our 5 more. So Junior, let's hear you say.
Okay. Good morning to you all. So it's a very nice discussion that we are all having today. So I think we are where we are because of the problems that started with the NIA starting this whole registration process. And we are now trying to find a solution as to whether we should extend it or we should maintain the directives from the government. So personally for me, I was also not in the country when this whole process started. But when I came back and I asked about it, because I heard they went around the various districts and constituencies to do some registrations. So when I came back, I was told they are no longer going around doing those registrations. And you have to go to the head office for a premium service. And I remember I had to pay about 250 cedis. And thankfully, I was able to get my card on the very same day. I went a bit early, but I was able to get my card done. So I now have my card. Now, there are a lot of people without these cards, and the deadline is in for us to either cut them off their lines. Now, I have more questions than answers. And one major question I keep asking is, why are people not able to, 1, register their cards, 2, receive their cards, and 3, link their cards to their SIM? The next question is, should we extend it? Is there any guarantee that the extension period that will be given will be able to solve these problems that we are raising. If it's able to solve them, then it means we are moving forward with it. But if an extension period is given and these very same problems most of the speakers have raised are not being able to solve, then it means we are back to square one. We will raise the issues again and ask for another extension. And that is what my fear is. I don't think the telcos, for instance, will be happy to lose a lot of customers because of this exercise. And I think the country also stands to gain a lot. So the NIA will also be happy if most people are able to register for their Ghana card and get it and use it. I know we've already spoken about the importance of the Ghana card and what the country stands to benefit from all of it. So that is a non-starter. We all know that. So now we have to continue to advise the citizens, to remind them to do the card. And it needs to start from somewhere. If we decide not to extend it, and let's say from 1st August, people won't be able to access their cards again, obviously there will be an outcry. But after the outcry, what happens? Will you still go and register and reactivate your SIM? Or because of the outcry, you will say you won't go and do it again. You will lose your SIM card forever. Because as most of you said, people are really attached to their SIM numbers. They've been using it for years. So if you think you can't stand losing it, it means you need to find every means possible to get your card and to link them. And if the government and the NIA also wants people to do that, it needs to step up. Now, everything all these speakers have said, it points to the NIA, because now they are the ones issuing out the cards. So I think most of our expectation will be on the NIA, because from the stats that was given that there are about 1 million cards that are still with them. People haven't gone for the cards yet. I don't know the reasons, whether people registered and they are just home, whether those who registered have passed away, whether people have been going there and they are just not getting the cards. I don't actually know the exact issue with that. But in all I'm trying to say is that the reasons we've been given has been repeated over time, and we keep going back to the same reasons. Extending or not extending will not in itself solve the underlying issues that we have. We rather need to look at these issues that we are raising and ask ourselves if extending it, the time period that extension will be given, will enable us to solve these very problems. If not, we will just keep repeating this cycle. We will extend it for 3 months. We will come back and say people are still struggling to get their cards. Let's extend it for another 3 months. And we will do that over and over again. I think there was a question asked about a continuous process for people to be able to register their cards. Obviously, that is what should happen, and I think will happen, because people will get new cards, and with the new cards, it means you need to go through all the process before you be able to use the cards. Because the benefits, as I said, that we all know about is enormous, and we are all hoping that we will be able to start reaping these benefits. I personally know of people who have been defrauded one way or the other, and now their SIM card, their NIE cards have been registered with multiple SIMs, and fraudsters are using them. I don't know how they will they can get out of this. So if anyone on this platform can also advise so that I can talk to those people. So
Okay.
they've been defrauded, and
Junior, thank you. When we are done, maybe we can talk about that on the timeline. Once you ask, we will retweet it and get it. We need to end
okay,
in
sure.
by 9. That is
Okay,
what we
sure.
promise. So let others come in.
Okay.
Please, when you come, thank you. You can make it snappy. Everybody should get at least a minute to extend or not. Yes, no, reason. Then we move on. Adika, let's hear you say.
Good morning, Austin. Good morning, guys. Uh, I think we should extend the process. For me, my mom has not been able to do it. She's 82 years. And I honestly think that in our country, registrations are actually meant to punish people and frustrate us. I'm not holding brief for the NIA, but I know the 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 card for the NIA really is a good one. But then my challenge is with the telcos. Why should I link my card to my SIM, then have to go and take a biometric details again when the the card itself has my biometric details on them? Um, the banks, me going to the bank without my ID card, my Ghana card, can just place my hands on their BVD and my details will pop up. So after linking my card to my SIM, why should I have to do that same thing again? It's frustrating frustrating when you go to these registration centers, the telco shops, and you see the number of people there and in the sun. It's a bit frustrating. With with the challenge the previous speaker before me mentioned concerning fraudsters using cards belonging to other people and linking them. Sometimes you do and it will tell you you've reached your maximum. I think the network should be able to help you offload those numbers, take those numbers from your SIM if you go to them. I had that same challenge. During the mass registration, I was part of the consultants for as an IT person for NIA when we're going around. Um, a number of people registered like we with the previous ones, and when they come back again, give different uh, details about themselves, so it conflicts with what is captured in the system already. So then having uh, issues with their card being printed, being on waiting adjudication or something. So I think honestly, ourselves we also would need to be honest with the details that we present to state authorities to be captured. That being said, I honestly believe and I honestly argue that the time for the registration should be extended. Extended in the sense that we don't have to go to the telcos to go and take another biometric details, just like the banks are doing. The banks are not taking our details. When we present our details to them, they get it. They have plugged into the NIN system. So why can't the telcos do the same thing? When I do, it should end it. It should end the process. I don't have to go to the telco office to go and register. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker he's speaking. Steven Junior. Let's hear you say. Hello, Steven. Okwan, Steven.
Good morning to you all. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Speak.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity. I want them to extend it because I'm one person who registered for my Ghana card when they started the registration, and for some time I didn't get the card. I've been going to their office day in day out, and they will be giving me excuses, go and come, go and come. And even last week I was there, and they even told me that I should wait for 4 good months before I can get my Ghana card. They are now processing it because the one they processed it didn't come, so they need to process a new one for me. So I should wait for 4 months. And a person like me, you just want to like disconnect my SIM card just because I haven't connected with my Ghana card, which is not my fault. So that I think they should extend it to solve these petty problems and for everybody to be able to connect it or Ghana card to his or her SIM.
Thank you very much. Yellow, Hayford Kuma, you can speak now. Please, let's all make it snappy. A minute. Because all of the issues that we are all raising have been dealt with by others. But if you have a peculiar situation you want to address, that is quite important. So, Hayford Kuma, let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. I agree with the view that it should be extended, and this is because the role of government is to make life easier for the people. It is not to stress individuals. Driving by the NIA office as early as 6 to 6:30 a.m., you see people queued up waiting for NIA officers to even come to work. So if the system itself does not have the capacity to register people and to churn out the cards which they need to do the registration, then why should the individuals be the ones to suffer? I believe that until we achieve an enrollment rate of about 90 to 95%, there should be an extension because the SIM card is now virtually the person's way of life. It is connected to your internet service, it's connected to you receiving communication. You could even have written an how do you call it, an application for a job offer, and that is the number that you used. So if by July 31st that is terminated, how does a person receive feedback? And most of these are not the faults of the people, as has been said. Some people registered for this as far back as 2018. The officers never went back to the communities to issue back the cards to them. So if some of us are privileged to have our cards because they probably came to our offices or they were in our constituencies at the time that we were around, we should also feel for those who did not have that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. You did it quite snappy. Grand Bill Moore, let's hear you, sir.
Hi, good morning. Thanks so much for this forum. Hello, Kajok. Hello. I agree it should be extended for some few reasons. There are some people who live abroad and for one reason or the other are unable to travel to Ghana, but then still have active Ghana SIM cards and they do business, they coordinate their businesses in Ghana via their SIM card. And I think that should be considered. Contact from the National Identification Authority were told that they are still taking steps to reach out to those who are in the diaspora. The other thing is, I suddenly realized this week that my business in Ghana has got about 3 or 4 mobile networks that are registered in my name, which was probably an oversight, even though I have my card and trying to link it with my SIM card. But there's business phones that I never thought or didn't even think the guy did it in my name. I'm not in Ghana. So there might be other corporate organizations like that have got lines or numbers linked to a person. And going forward, we need to be thinking of that. There are banks that have got directors and they want it to be linked. Other directors may not be available and that sort of thing. So the corporate side of it, we need to probably consider it. And I think that extension should be made. Some because we can't also keep extending the dates without any sanctions. Otherwise, future exercises will not be taken serious. So there should be some form of sanctions. I don't know whether on the telco side or on other utility side. I'm not sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think that I also agree with what you have just said. Because you see, where I'm looking at is, do we genuinely believe that 1st August 2022, then close to 500,000 numbers will go off? Just like, no, the national security minister should step into this, because that would be a national security threat issue. 500,000 numbers, I'm using basic numbers, are off. Ni tete. Sorry if I'm not gone. So if I got it right, it's tete or tete or tete. Ni tete. Let's hear you,
Yeah,
sir.
it's Tete. It's Tete. Don't worry. Right. I'll just continue off what you said. Government not realizing that cutting off almost 500,000 SIMs, and just saying they would actually cut off is just a testament of the fact that when we are designing processes, we really don't think far ahead of it. We are not seeing the implications of this, even though people have to register. What I would say is that we will still have to extend. And the extension is just a symptom of the bad processes NIA, in conjunction with all these registration bodies, have set aside. People have spoken in this space, and I've attested to the fact that when you are designing processes, you make sure you make it very easy and seamless for the people. Let me give you a simple example. When you are in an organized institution and you are considered lazy, the onus is on the employer to make sure that he passes you through all the available systems, so that there's a justification if they are laying you off. So that if you decide to counter you or do anything, he would come with proof that this is what I did for this employee, pass them through all the system. However, they were not able to meet per requirements of my system. If I'm comparing it to what's happening right now, there can be a justification to cut SIMs if NIA, in conjunction with all these registering bodies, have made processes very accessible and seemingly easy. That would be a very fair justification. But this is the case where it's very difficult to get this. There are little problems that the NIA itself has not sat down to solve, but then they think there's a justification to cut the cuts. Look, if they don't solve these things and make these things easy for people, we will keep on extending this thing onto 2024. The extension is just a symptom. And again, it goes on to the bigger national problem. When we sit to do processes, we don't think deep through, and the political biases and all of these things come through. And at the end of the day, we have to be taking certain issue, and then the onus comes back on the citizens. And you have people saying citizens are not responsible. It's not that. The last thing I heard, like, even continue on my example before I end this, I heard someone saying they had to lose their jobs and all of that. You see, and these are some of the things. You lose your job in Germany and you get some in a few weeks. Someone sits in Ghana after school and cannot get a job after 5 years. And for me, the lack of self-awareness is really crazy, because you can't tell someone who is relying on a job they got 5 years after school to lose that job because they have to register for a national SIM. The person needs to feed their family. So again, let's just try and fix these problems NIA has. Otherwise, then we'll keep on continuing extending this thing till 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kofi, you are tweeting at IHM4. Let's hear you. A minute, sir. Extend or not?
Yeah, I think it should be extended. In that the problems that people are facing with the re-registration is not really from them. If NIA can't issue the cards, as at now, I know of a friend who registered with me way back in August 2018 when they actually started the registration in Ashali-Botwe. And up till now, the person has still not received his or her card. But the person has that slip where when you are done with the registration, they give you the details of your name and the details that you gave plus the card number. I believe the first stage of the re-registration, if we are able to link that number to it, then I think they will be safe, so that when the card comes, then they can go to the telcos and finish it up. I believe that if they continue with the registration and you get that number, that special number, or that's your national identification number,
you can go through the first stage of the re-registration, which is the *404# if I'm getting the number right. If you can do that stage, then maybe they will give you an extension for you to get the card. Since getting the card is no fault of yours, you have actually gone through the registration. It's just that the card is not available because of NIA's problems. So if that can be done, then they can give maybe a month extension. And then for those who already have the numbers and can't get the card, they give them about 6 months. Or when the NIA themselves get the cards ready, then they can extend it for a month afterwards. If I'm making a little bit of sense, the 1 month should be given as an extension for you to go to NIA to do the registration for your Ghana card. Although they say the Ghana card is not available, the card itself is not available, but they can register you. So once they register you, they give you a slip with your number on it. Then you can go to the first stage of the SIM re-registration. If you have done that first stage of the re-registration, then I think you should be okay for now till NIA can provide us with the cards. Then you have to go to the telcos within a month or so to do that second part. I believe that can also help.
Thank you very much, Kofi. Emmanuel,
Thank you.
you are tweeting.
Before Emmanuel speaks, I know we are trying to wrap up. I want everybody to try to go to nia.gov.gh. That's the NIA's website. If the site opens, let us know. If it doesn't open, let us know. Because I've been trying to open the site since dawn with Safari, with Microsoft Edge, with Google Chrome. And, the site is not opening. So I just want others to try to see whether the site opens. If the site doesn't open, it also tells us a lot about even the inefficiencies in the system. Because I remember when the NIA processes began, I asked Prof why people could not just go to the site and fill the forms with their KYC. So they fill, you get the data, they print it. Once they fill and that form has a unique identification number, they go to the registration site, you give your unique identification number, they type it in, your KYC comes up, and then they take your biometrics. It shortens the process. Now you have to go and do everything from scratch. So taking your details alone takes a long time. So let's just check if the website works, nia.gov.gh. Austin, you can carry on.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel, you are tweeting at a decade. And let's hear.
All right. Thank you very much, Austin and Kojo. So Kojo, first of all, yes, I'll be able to open the site. So I'm not too sure what's happening with your connection. So you probably will check that. I've sent you a screenshot of it as well. Okay. Second thing, I just want to make a couple of not corrections, but comments on some previous comments. First point is that I also think that this extra biometrics is wholly unnecessary. However, that is what has been put in place now, and that is what part of was a problem. And that is not an edict from the telcos; it is from the regulator. And so the earlier comment about the telcos requiring that really it's actually from the regulator. Second thing is that then the constancy of the reminders you are receiving is a consequence of whether you're already registered or not. There's no point in spamming people who are already registered. And so for the ones who probably say they are not receiving any SMSs to urge them to go and register, it could be because they've already registered. So there's really no need to be spamming them. Now, in terms of the way forward, our problem right now is the fact that we are dealing with a human behavior problem. And you address that by designing the systems to address the human behavior problems. So if we extend for another 3 months, people will just sit down again. And after 2.5 months, then we'll see the queues and the rest. So my proposal basically is that we do this, okay? We go ahead with, look, we are going to have an extension till end of year, but those extensions will have some modalities. First one, all unregistered teams will have up to, let's say, 1,000 minutes of calls. So you have 1,000 minutes to make on your unregistered number, within which period you should be able to get a registration done. Because we consume at different rates, it's going to naturally stagger how much in need will be of a registration. So for somebody's 1,000 minutes will exhaust in 2 or 3 days, and so he will have to rush to NIA right now. Someone who will exhaust in 4 months, and so he would be a little more relaxed. So naturally, this would ease or spread the pressure on both the telcos and NIA over the next 6 months that the extension will happen. Post the 1,000 minutes, you don't get blocked, or you get blocked only one way. You can't make calls again, but you're able to receive calls. Okay, so that also prompts you, if you have not done the registration, that now I can't make calls, I can receive calls. So I don't have zero use of my SIM. Then at the end of the 6 months, we have the situation where then we have the wholesale blocking. And even that, I think that where there is a genuine NIA related reason, there should be a route for getting an exception for your number not to be blocked for those circumstances. But I think it should be this 3-stage process. It will help to stagger the queues and will help all of us to get this registration done properly. Thank you.
Thank you, Anima. Before you leave, you see, I'm happy with what you have just done. I keep saying this, that when we have a space, right, and we are not able to profess solutions to leadership, that is when people will go on the timeline and say these people think that leaders are bad. They will do worse. Let us prove to them that we, the Ghanaian youth, we are also intelligent. So this thing that you have just professed is one of the best things I've heard in any Ghanaian space. Solution based. Because genuinely, I can't fathom how on Monday 500,000 people will just go off. No, it's a national security issue. And I am happy with the solution you have professed. People would always say, oh, yeah. But look at someone giving a brilliant suggestion. With the numbers, we can work around it. It might not be 1,000 minutes. We can work always, but the concept, the idea, and I'm impressed that the Ghanaian youth is intelligent enough. And when we keep having spaces and people are professing solutions, let's thought that in a year it cannot happen. It is not possible. I am hugely impressed because let us not wait till Monday when numbers are going off. It will not help. It will create chaos. It will be problematic. Thank you. Our next speaker is Justice. Justice, let's hear you, sir.
Hello, thank you, Austin, and to all of you, Kojo, and the others for your input. This is just a brief one from me. Maybe to start with, I'll say I support the extension, and I support it simply because the institute that is supposed to provide the card has been unable to do its work in full. I agree that the registration process is a continuing one, but this is the first level, which is to get the mass of the people registered. And to the extent that NIA remains unable to meet its obligations under this arrangement, forever we should have the extension. Once NIA is able to finish the critical bit, then we can now go into the next gear to say we'll have a graduated restriction. I say graduated restriction because people will also take some time to sort of have the registration done because of all the nuances of our system, right? So you could have a situation where we get to a point where those who have not registered their or linked their Ghana cards to their SIM could only have access to voice and not data, and maybe other services that the telcos would provide. It's also interesting to note that the focus is only on the SIM card registration, and that should tell you how our society or our economy is. It means that there are a significant number of people who depend on the mobile phone for their livelihood, be it personal stuff or business or anything. But there are equally other things or other services that require that you have access to this card. Why is there focus on just a mobile phone and not the other one? And so for me, I think that this has to be extended. And it's extended simply because the NIA has been unable to churn out the cards as required. Once NIA is able to solve this issue, we can go into that graduated restriction process where people are unable to get certain services because they have not registered. My last traveled to the United States. I got a SIM card simply with my passport. I don't remember what the restrictions were, but I was able to use it for everything, all the basic things that I have to do. So I don't know why in our space it's so difficult for us to be able to roll this out in a very smooth way and not make it look like a gangster thing we are doing. So for me, honestly, I think it's a little, people are taking advantage of it, but they are okay to take advantage of it to the extent that the NIA is yet to meet its part of the bargain. Once the NIA meets, we'll all not have an excuse, but to do what has to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will be closing in the next 10 minutes. Felix, you are our next speaker. Let's hear you, sir. Okay, Felix just left. Dogmatic. I don't know if I got your name right, but you are tweeting at Donzago or something like that. Dogmatic. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for this platform. I have a simple question because I raised an issue about the Ghanaian passport. And I read somewhere that it costs like 120 USD for foreigners to get the Ghana card. And mind you, there are a lot of foreigners in Ghana. So I don't know, it's a question. What are we doing with these foreigners? Because most of them have not been able to get their Ghana card. And we are claiming that the passport can be used. So if anyone has any idea on this, I would like to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Dogmatic, I don't know if you can hear us, but you were built to speak. But I don't know. Kofi Sika is our next speaker. Let's speak Kofi Sika because Dogmatic, I don't know if his connection is very.
Hello.
Yeah, we are listening. Speak, sir.
Okay, yeah, good. First of all, I support the extension. That is, it's basic. Everybody has said it already, but I want to take you on certain things that you said earlier. You said we, the youth, we have to come with solutions. It's not all the time that we have to be recycling the problem and all those. If I get you right, maybe I'm paraphrasing you wrongly, but you know, our leaders, those who sit at the top, they have their own agenda. I get my point. How many times have we listened to Kojo, Bernard, and other guys on the radio station preferring good solutions to the problems in our society? But those guys sitting at the upper, they don't listen. They have their own agenda. Are you trying to tell me that, see, I live in Finland, right? We have a national database. Passports, national ID card, your voters, your driver license, everything is connected. If you have your you guys call it TIN, but we have our social security number, your date of birth, and another 4 digits. If you go to any shop, you want to do anything, you give that number, your database, everything pops up. Are you telling me that the Ghanaian, if we want to have a robust database, are you telling me we cannot do it? Why are we in a haste to just, must Ghana card be everything? It's like, without Ghana card, we cannot do anything. If we want to do this thing, it has to be a national conversation. We have to take our time and build a robust database. You are using your passport to get a Ghana card, but you cannot use your passport to register your SIM card. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. And it's not that because the court said, okay, you cannot use the passport, that is it. We have to make them understand that, no, certain decisions you guys take, it will go a long way to affect us. Everybody talks about the national security threat and issue. It is a fact. This extension, it will definitely happen. There are millions of Ghanaians that have not gotten their Ghana card, faults that are not theirs. And we cannot make the Ghana card as the only or the sole primary document to register our SIM card. If we think deep and want to analyze this situation, we have to go back to the root cause of everything and let them understand, those people who are taking the decision, let them understand that, yes, you got it wrong. Go back and reverse this. You got it wrong from the very day that you made useless of our passport. You made useless of the driver license. You made useless of other documents that we used. If you want to do this thing, take your time. The world is not ending today. Take your time and build it. You don't have to be in haste for everything to score political points. Is that it? No, we don't build a nation like that. We definitely don't build a nation like that. And you talk about the fact that, okay, even if they extend the time to, let's say at the end of the year, still people will not do it. Of course, people will not have it. Probably it's not their fault. But the issue is, you see, I listen to you and sometimes I listen to most of the people and sometimes they try to blame we, the ordinary citizen. But take a good example. When you watch Parliament on your TV or your phones and stuff, look at the time they even give out. They will tell you, oh, the speaker will say, okay, we'll be back in 30 minutes. In 2 hours, they are still not back. Oh, we'll do this in 1 hour. In 3 hours, they have still not done it. Because the people who are sitting at the top, they don't even respect our time. They don't respect time. So you will not blame the ordinary Ghanaian who is not even respecting the fact that, oh, come on, this thing, I'm not going to do it now. Of course, we have to do it. But sometimes, bro, we just have to be real and address the core problem. The core problem. Let us go back and tell those people that, no, yes, Ghana card is important. Yes, we really need a Ghana card. But this is not the best way to go. I live in Finland. I don't have a Finnish ID. Of course, I can get anytime, but I don't have. Two is my passport or my driver license. It's okay for me to do everything. So let us just, I think I'm repeating myself, so let me end it here. Let us just go back and start from afresh and do everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But you see, to respond to that, it is not that I don't want us to talk about why we got here. But anytime we create a space, there is a reason, and the topic is at the top of this page. It says that SIM registration, to extend or not to extend. That is the topic we are discussing. If we want to discuss challenges with SIM registration as a whole, we can do that. But we have just 2 days for what the course have ruled on to kick in. So if we come and say that we should have used our passport, what is that to achieve in this space?
Let me ask you, when you said to extend or not to extend, and everybody comes, okay, extend. Is that going to change something?
Yes. What that tells us is we just don't ask you to extend. We ask you for why you think there should be an extension. So people have, let me finish. People are giving genuine reasons. We can use those genuine reasons to go and petition that at least let there be an extension. But we cannot use the reason of a passport being included because the court have ruled on it. That cannot happen. When are we going to court to change that or what? But I'm saying we can use this data we have gathered from experiences now to even start an online petition. So if you have realized, I don't know if you have followed me, when I organize a space, at the end I say that this is our take home. What can we do with that? Do we start a hashtag? Do we start something so that we get results with it? But we cannot get results by saying that a passport should have been included. But we can get results by saying that Ghanaians genuinely have gone for the Ghana card, they could not get it. So please extend it.
Bro, let me ask you, let's be sincere to ourselves. Are you telling me that the people who are making the decision, Madam Esla Owusu or how do you call it, the communication ministry, are you sincerely telling me that they don't know there are issues with this? Are you telling me that they are not in close communication with the NIA and they know very well that people don't have their cards? Are you genuinely telling me that they don't know? They know this, bro. They know it.
So that is what we discussed, but not the passport.
No, whether to extend or not to extend. Everybody, if you run a poll right now, believe you me, 90% of people will tell you extend the thing. So if we say, okay, extend it, and you take it up and you say, okay, we've run a poll, okay, we say extend it, and they say no, they will not extend. What will you do? We cannot do anything.
You see, that is not it.
Okay,
Let me
so
explain to you.
Austin and Dogmatic, we don't have enough time. So Austin, I think you can reply quickly. Then
Yeah.
we
What I
wrap up
want to
on this.
say is,
Okay.
when somebody professes a solution, that solution can be used and told leadership that don't cut everybody off. Use a graduated means of losing your data and all that. That we can show to them that it can be done this way. You are our next speaker. Let's hear you.
I'll get you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. An interesting discussion. So I worked with an NIA when we first started a national the rollout of the national ID card, where we did a mass registration. That was in 2008, 2009. The plan for the national ID card, which I know and from our training, is that the card is supposed to be the ultimate card in Ghana for everything. For banking, for everything, for even your driver's license. That's where they tap the information from voting. That's what they will tap it from. Like the EC is not supposed to be holding registration or ruling people for an EC card anymore. They're supposed to tap the database. When you hold a Ghana card, you're supposed to go and use it to vote. That was the plan. But you see, what we've gotten to, we're supposed to start with a mass registration, then gradually enroll the rest of the people to get a Ghana card. But it looks as if the communication ministry has put undue pressure on the NIA. And it's not the NIA's fault, it's the communication ministry's fault. Because this is not how the NIA is supposed to work. It's supposed to roll out the card gradually, step by step, over a certain period of time. Like the way you go and you want to get a driver's license when you know you're supposed to drive, or you're supposed to get a passport when you know you need it. That's how it's supposed to be. But now there's undue pressure on the NIA. And therefore, people shouldn't blame the NIA. They should blame the communication ministry. Now, going forward, what they should do is that they should extend the registration period and then limit what people can do with their numbers. Maybe a certain number of minutes of calls they can make in a day, a certain amount of data they can use in a day, or a certain amount of money, mobile money transaction they can conduct in a day. Then NIA, they should allow the communication ministry or the government should work with the NIA to start another round of mass registration. Because there are a lot of people who still haven't enrolled, haven't registered for the Ghana card. When they start the mass registration, it opens up more centers, more public centers open, like the way they did. Then people can go, those who are supposed to go for their cards can get it. Those who want to enroll, then enroll. That's the only way out. But to stop people entirely because there's a deadline, that one, the telcos will lose, Ghanaians will lose, government will lose. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Didi. Didi, you are our last speaker so that we can close at 9:30. Let's hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope you can.
Yeah, we can hear you, but there's a terrible feedback. I don't know. You are breaking up, but you can speak, sir.
Okay. Yes, I am for not to extend because I believe we've been given ample time for the registration. Yes, we didn't do what the bank did from NIA, but a lot of people have registered and able to do it. By virtue of that, as a country moving forward, we need to abide by the rules and regulations. If the court has said that the deadline should be given, it should be given. This thing has been postponed for so many occasions, or on so many occasions, and I believe strongly that without a firm affirmation by the government to move on with this, the country will be moving 2 steps forward and then 3 steps backward. We need to start from a point, and the point is now. That's my submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kojo, I think that we've exhausted our time. We've gone 30 minutes beyond our time. You would have to.
You extended your registration, huh?
Yeah. We are. We see that is the lackadaisical attitude of the Ghanaian. Kojo, in the next minute to 3, can you put everything together, sum it up, and what can be the way forward for us? Thank you.
Well, I think we have to thank all the listeners and the speakers for sharing their thoughts and those speaking, tweeting about this space. From what I've gleaned from the conversation, I think that there's a problem with
I don't know. Kojo's
people.
connection has been very poor, but
Oh, really?
until he comes back, I would like to thank everybody for joining us on this space. It's going to be something that we would be do periodically. If there's an issue, we'll be talking about it. Um, Details would be on the timeline. Kojo would be sharing that with us, and we can all retweet. But moving on to try and better how we communicate this space as well. Maybe we use a hashtag so that not everybody can speak within the time that we allot, so that you can tweet with that hashtag, and we spend some 5 minutes reading those tweets and comments and views of other people as well. Thank you so much. It's been a
Austin, can you
wonderful
hear me now?
experience with this one. And let's meet again. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and continue to make our nation great and strong. Stay safe. Thank you.